on our way to the salt mine. We're on our way in the salt mine today. Day 2. Look how much snow they have. It's a museum out there.
Co to jest za te muzeum tutaj po lewej?
Co?
Tutaj po lewej, co to jest za muzeum?
To jest po prostu kamienica odnowiona.
Będzie jakieś muzeum Podgórza.
A, no może, nie wiem. Co to musiałem niedawno.
I o tym kładzie mi sąd.
To mi się niedawno to odkryć. Nie kojarzę.
That beach beside the hotel is really nice. How's the picture? I took a picture. Yeah.
Oh.
As those are ruins of funeral house.
That's the house that they were showing. Remember that he was shooting from the...
This house, it's called Grey House.
Yeah.
There was administration of the camp, and in the jak jest piwnica?
A basement.
In the basement there was a prison. Now they are finally doing something with this to make it proper memorial.
So that's the house. Administration house from Schindler's List. So if you watch Schindler's List, guys, this is where the administration house
He was
was.
standing on the balcony and shooting at people.
Yeah, yeah.
That was it.
Ah, where there's. Oh, yeah. If you watch the Schindler's List. Oh, this is a video. Yeah, this is a video.
That would be cool. Maybe it's a museum.
That's the balcony wherein the soldiers started to shoot people who are working. If you watch Schindler's List, so they were
That's the funeral house.
funeral houses.
Like even the ruins.
It's the funeral houses. So there's still some.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We watched Schindler's List like 2 weeks ago.
yeah. So that's a funeral house of all those who died. So it's the prisoner camp during Schindler's List time. This is where it happened.
No to jest jeden z takich ważniejszych miejsc.
Właśnie to mnie dziwi, że to było tak.
Guys, salt mine car parking. So there's a lot of people going up.
Przed restauracją będzie miejsce.
Oh, there's proper restaurants there, hun. Like, if you want to sit down and eat. Great. So, I'm gonna park and then we're going.
No możemy tutaj wysiąść, nie ma...
Ja normalnie właśnie zazwyczaj sobie w tej restauracji siadam.
Look at the snow on top of the picnic.
Car coming.
Come on. Stay here on the side. Cars.
Blanket out.
Having an English store here in the salt mines.
Szanowni Państwo, za chwilę do zwiedzania zabytkowej kopalni soli oraz podziemnej ekspozycji Muzeum Żub Krakowskich wejdzie grupa turystów indywidualnych z przewodnikiem oprowadzającym w języku polskim. Turystów posiadających bilety indywidualne zapraszamy do wejścia. Zejście do wyrobu kopalni odbywa się po schodach na głębokość 64 metrów. Łącznie zwiedzanie trwa około 3 godzin. W kopalni panuje temperatura 14 do 16 stopni Celsjusza. Życzymy Państwu miłego
With the
zwiedzania.
jumper and this one.
Yeah.
See? Twinny.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hot inside. Oh, it's 16 degrees.
Are they in a group or private?
Just waiting in line for the English tour.
You guys want something
waiting.
hot? Wine or
Okay.
coffee, normal wine?
Not for now.
Not for now. Yeah.
It's
Maybe
like
tonight.
lunchtime.
Yeah.
It's holidays. I don't have a clock on it.
So we're going down. How many feet? 16 meters down. Okay.
I think it starts with 6.
Yeah. So we will going down 60 meters below for the salt mine. There's a shop there with long. Ice cream, Lord, the ice cream. Is it Lord?
Do we want ice cream?
Ice cream. Said ice cream. It's cold. You're not here. It's just us.
Yeah.
What's the name of the
Zależy, bo to tam w rynku jak ten, no to pewnie jeszcze dodaje.
Go down soon. I'll just video later then. Bye.
Kilometers long, and it includes the multiple chambers, chapels, underground lakes and galleries from the first level as we are now to the third level. The third level is the deepest level available for tourists, 135 meters below the ground. But as we are in the real mine, there are some rules that should be followed. First of all, and the most important, smoking and using open fire is strictly forbidden. Please don't touch the salt statues and monuments, which you'll see later. Some corridors have lower ceilings, so please watch your heads. The mine is huge, and the tourists route nearly 2% of the whole mine, even less so. It's pretty easy to get lost. So please follow me, please stick to the group, because tourists who get lost, believe me or no, we are looking for only once a month. I think that I need to pick up the phone.
Have it clear out once a month.
Sorry.
Since the beginning of the mine's existence, there were 26 main shafts. We walked down by one of them, by the Wieliczka shaft. Wieliczka shaft reaches the depth of 260 meters below the ground, and what's important with the main shaft is that they link different levels of the mine and they have connection with the surface. However, there are over 180 inner smaller shafts, and they link different levels of the mine. However, they don't have connection with the surface. And here in front of you, the hole with the lever is an example of inner shaft. Nowadays it links first level with the third level, and is a part of the ventilation system is nowadays, but in the past you can see that through this hole, through this inner shaft, salt was transported up to the higher levels, but not to the surface. So the major product of the salt mine until the 19th century, you can see here in front of you, hanging the ropes. It was the major product of the salt mine. Miners called them salt blocks or snowmans because large rectangular blocks of salt were separated from the walls with hammers and wedges, and next fashioned as a barrel shaped rods, which made it easier to roll them by wooden tools from one place to another because they were very heavy. In 17th century, such block of salt could weigh from 1,000 to 2,000 kilos even. Imagine that in the Middle Ages salt was so valuable that one could buy entire village with only one block of salt, like this side you can see here in front of you. This way.
I don't have my stick. That's why it's okay.
So the rock salt was discovered in Wieliczka in the second half of 13th century. So the salt mine is more than 700 years old. And extracting of rock salt leaves behind open spaces like you can see here for chambers, rooms, voids. If the empty spaces hadn't been supported, wood sooner or later collapse. That's why it has been a common practice for salt mine to use wood for many purposes. Basically, wood is used in salt mine because salt is highly corrosive to common metals, and the longer it stays here, the stronger it becomes. As a result, not only supports were made of wood such as fir or spruce, but most of the tools, however, tools and shafts were made of stronger type of wood like oak. That's why you want a lot of metal element in this salt mine, because in this environment it could be easily disrupted by corrosion. And let's go.
Wow, I didn't know. No, I didn't know it was much stronger. Next
Lifted up by means of manual winches. This machine in front of you is called hand-operated cross. It was operated by 4 workers, and this machine was used to lift light loads only. Here on the left side, wooden board with white crosses. In the past, such boards were used to count the amount of load carried during one shift. One day was divided into 3 shifts, each for 8 hours. Nowadays, we use such boards only to count missing tourists. Very helpful. In the distance over there you can see a roof space of the salt mine, the wider part. If you'd like to explore that part of mine, I have a special offer for you. Maybe you heard about the miner's route. So tourists receive special uniforms, helmets, lamps, and you descend into the mine by the oldest existing shaft from the 14th century, but it's not so elegant route as this one. However, it's great adventure, not only for teenagers, but also for adults. So if you want to try something different, if you want to see another phase of the salt mine, remember about the miner's route. Another corridor in front of us, ventilation corridor. So hold the door, hand aside. This chamber was named after great Polish astronomer Nicholas Copernicus, who formulated the heliocentric model of the universe. He made the sun still and the earth move. And this salt monument, the first salt monument you can see here underground, was placed here in 1973 to commemorate 500th anniversary of Nicholas Copernicus' birthday. This salt mine is not only the oldest enterprise in Poland still in operation, but also the oldest tourist attraction. It is said that Nicholas Copernicus was one of the first visitors around 1493 as a student of Krakow Academy, nowadays is the Jagiellonian University. So in those days, in the 15th, 16th century, only rich, scholar, and very important people could visit this salt mine. Instead of admission tickets, they needed the special permissions of the kings, which was granted only few. But nowadays time has changed, and many of us can admire this art of human and nature work. Even though we stopped excavated of rock salt in 1964, so we don't dig the rock salt anymore, but we still produce salt, but only in evaporation way. From the salty water which circulates here in this rock mass. From this water, from the salty water, we get about from 10 to 15,000 tons of salt every year. So we can say that this salt mine is the oldest enterprise in Poland, still in operation, because as you remember, rock salt was discovered in Wieliczka in the second half of 13th century. As you can see, this chamber also survived owing to special timber constructions, and also we are walking on the salty floor because the floor was made of salt, but only here and into places, to chapels, which you see later, because in the corridors, in the rest of the chambers, to be more comfortable on the floor, you will see that there is a concrete. And this was. This is the legend about the Hungarian princess and about her engagement.
When a Polish prince called Wieliczka proposed to Hungarian Princess Kinga, her father, King Bela, insisted on a traditional dowry. But Kinga came up with another idea. She knew that no rock salt was mined in Poland, and decided to ask her father for a group of salt miners. She wished to find salt in Poland with their help. Without a second thought, the king presented to Kinga an entire salt mine in Hungary. The
the princess visited the mine on her way to Krakow. She came near the mine shaft and, surprisingly, threw her engagement ring into it. When she arrived to her new country, she requested the miners to look for salt. The result came soon. The miners discovered salt deposits near Krakow that gave Poland centuries-long prosperity. They say that Kinga's engagement ring was found in the first salt lump extracted.
It was a legend, however, Princess Kinga was a real historical figure. She was also a very religious person. After her husband died, she joined Clara's monastery in Stary Sącz, and she is a patroness of salt miners, who dedicated her the most beautiful chapel in the salt mine. You visit this chapel in about 40 minutes. So this is the Saint Kinga. Saint Kinga, patroness of salt miners. We are in the salt mine.
Yeah, he's taking videos.
Throughout the centuries, fires endangered the mine and lives of people who work underground. Mainly, they were caused by explosion of methane, this odorless and colorless gas, which is lighter than air, gathers under the ceiling and becomes free as a result of mining excavations. Methane was particularly dangerous in old times because there were no efficient methods of ventilating the mine. What's more, oil lamps with open fire were used to light the mine. That's why until the 20th century, the only way to get rid of it, was to burn it off. And it was job for well-qualified miners called penitents because they were dressed in wet clothes, carried long torches, and they must crawl along the lower part of the cavern to burn the methanol. Their job was very dangerous, however, it was necessary to continue the excavations. But nowadays, thanks to the proper like example in front of you. It was a special profession of miners who only take care of the horses, and as I told you, they were treated very well by miners because they have them many ways. And this wooden machine in front of you is called horse gear. This machine was operated by 4 pairs of horses. In this salt mine, 3 types of horse gear were introduced: Polish from the 15th century, Saxon, and Hungarian from the 18th century. This machine, it was a great improvement in vertical transport because this machine could lift even 2,000 kilos, so the big block of salt you have seen at the very beginning, from the depth of 300 meters. 300 meters because here in the salt mine we have 9 main levels. 9 levels, which is the depth of 300. Machine, horses, they are on the surface, yes? They are on the surface, but a little below. Below you can see part of the mine, and on the right side, what is important, there is a shaft. Polish King Casimir the Great was placed here to commemorate 600th anniversary of issuing his famous collection of miners' rights. Salt in 14th century was as valuable as gold now, because it was the main mineral for many centuries. It was the main mineral to preserve the food. That's why Wieliczka salt mine and salt mine in Pomnik, in neighboring town, had a great. I will tell you in a moment. From the east, there was about the deposit, 10 kilometers.
Oh, okay. So it probably goes into the town underneath.
Yes. It will be the light in a moment. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I told you, rock salt was discovered in Wieliczka in the second half of 13th century. However, salt manufacturing in this area began around 6,000 years ago. 6,000 years ago, it was the time when people who live here, they didn't know that underground there is a rock salt, but they had on the surface many salty lakes, and they produce salt only in evaporation way at first. That's why here in front of you can see a model of Neolithic village. And in the foreground you can see a saline installation which in those days included channels driven into the ground which supply salty water from the surface sources to the sedimentation container. In that container, brine sediment sat at the bottom, and next purified brine was dry on open fire. When the evaporation process ended, thick salt mass was put into the small mats in which it solidified, and the final products were cans with the same shape and size, weighted about 1 kilo each, used for household purposes as well as a currency. However, there was less and less salty water on the surface, and people started to searching the salty water. They digging deeper and deeper. It led to discover rock salt about 16 meters below the ground in the second half of 13th century, and that's how rock salt was discovered in Wieliczka. We are leaving the first level. We are going first level, the upper part of the second level. Please remember that all the caverns and niches were created here by human beings. There are no natural caverns and caves here in the salt mine. I mentioned at the very beginning that the tourism is nearly 2% of the whole mine. It is because this also.
We're going down. Can you see that? We're going down there.
Also, this machine, you can see here in front of you, called UNESCO, we use our father because the chain resembles rosary beads. A very simple machine operated by two workers between 16th and 18th century, but this machine was used to transport water only to the upper level, not to the surface. I will show you how it works. Create a pressure in the pipe which is on the back of this pump, and thanks to this pressure, water is pumped to the higher levels. Strongly and highly heated and melted by the humid air. One of the oldest salt statues from the end of 17th century was made. It was created and decorated within 70 years by miners, sculptors of who the best of our brothers, and their friends Anton Leberodek. Nowadays, their work is continued by new generations of miners. This chapel has been a place of worship since 1896. Every Sunday morning, like tomorrow, today morning, 7:30 a.m. There is a mass celebrated. The mass celebrated as well as on special occasions like St. Kinga's Day, St. Barbara's Day, probably tomorrow, Christmas Eve. There is also possibility to rent this chapel for wedding mass, which is very popular, or for a concert, especially classical music concert, because it has a great acoustic. Downstairs, this chapel is located 101 meters below the ground. Few more information I will tell you downstairs. Now please be careful because we are going down by steps, also carrying salt. So if you are ready, join me. I'm waiting for you downstairs. Yes, you can go, but you have a break in about 15 minutes. So join us downstairs.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Let's go. Let's go down. So we're going down.
Go to the left and hold the... That's your right.
To the
The left. And hold the...
But I want to...
Don't hold the hand out there. I don't want to know.
No, I'm alright.
It's slippery. Just say.
I know, but I'm alright. That's it. I'm really not in a hurry to go down. So, we're going down the marvelous Salt Chapel. It's the biggest chapel. Apparently they do concerts here and also held masses. Like this morning. They held a mass this morning here. See? Guys, it's so beautiful. It's so nice. It's so nice. It is so nice. By the way, guys, the chandelier are made of salt as well. They're also made of salt. Everything here is made of salt. That Last Supper, if you could see, is also made of salt. So everything. The altar there in front is also made of salt. Let's go there. It's nice. My God, look. Can you see that? Everything is made of salt. So beautiful.
The last chamber on the tourist, however, the highest, 36 meters high. And this chamber is a part of the history of extreme sport like bungee jumping. It is also mentioned in Guinness Book of the World Record because of the first underground balloon flight. These two events were organized here in this place. Wait a moment. Press the bottom, the white button, and push. Okay. Once more, Wieliczka salt mine is also a world-class monument because in 1978 was entered on the first UNESCO heritage list, and the barley on the left side commemorate this event. Two places from Poland, Wieliczka salt mine and the Krakow Old Town. But as you can see, there are some other places, so check before you leave this chamber, maybe from the country. On the right side, a small geological part, so if you have enough time, go and see some exponents. This is the last chamber with me. In front of you, here underground, this is the shopping, relaxing and eating area. You can stay here underground as long as you wish, until the mine will be closed. So you can do some shopping, eat something, if you don't want to stay here any longer. Or after the break, when you decided to leave this place, you need to go to the exit chamber and again, wait for the guy to catch you.